Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Dezey here. Welcome to my Vainglory strategy class 201. Now this is going to be a much more advanced strategy guide, so if you are in solo queue, you need to be fluent in ping. Otherwise, I advise you to go into three-man parties and devise a plan before the game, or at least be in voice communications, because this guide is going to be on backdooring. So let's get started.
Let's get started with the definition of backdooring. Backdooring is when one or more heroes attack the base objectives without the help of a minion wave. On the Halcyon Fold, the base gates will be the front door. The walls, we are going to call the back door. Now unfortunately both sides are not created equally. Hopefully SEMC can fix this. But for now, blue side has around a 4-meter wall, while red side has around a 7 to 8 meter wall. Keep this in mind during hero select so you can gain an extra advantage in the game. Now let's continue to the heroes that can jump over these walls. All heroes that can jump the red wall can easily jump over the blue wall. The heroes I place on the blue side are limited to that side only. On the blue side, we have Blackfeather, Saw with the help of a minion, and then we have Lance. Moving on to the red side, we have Baron, Rona, Petal, Jewel, Glaive, and finally Arden, except he can use 2 abilities to cross the wall, one on his own and one with assistance. Ozo can also jump over the walls, but he does need assistance as well.
And Vainglory's newest hero, Idris, he will also need help.
And then we have Backdooring's golden girl, Lyra. If she is on the team, she can take anyone across any wall with her. Now you are probably wondering what the numbers beside the heroes mean. These are the times that it takes to take a fully shielded and full health turret to 0.
All heroes are on a standard 3-item offensive build. The defensive items will be an Aegis and either a metal jacket or an Atlas pauldron. The 2 captains Lyra and Arden are using standard support builds with a Storm Crown equipped. It is also important to note that all the times I've listed are used on the first turret. I would add a second or 2 more because I believe the base turrets have a larger barrier. It is also important that with these heroes, you must deal consistent damage without any gaps in timing and between abilities.
Before you attempt backdooring, you need to make sure you fulfill a certain set of requirements. Make sure you have a hero that can jump over the enemy's wall. It's best to attempt this strategy when the enemy has 1 turret remaining, or less. Any more than 1 turret will make the strategy much more difficult, as the challenge is very time specific. When you have 1 turret left to take down, the door to backdooring opens. These are some reasons why you should be backdooring. If you are much stronger than your enemy, by all means, finish the game however you like. But if the enemy composition is much stronger late game, then backdooring is a good idea. When the enemy takes a Kraken, most of the time I will see the enemy team push down with the Kraken. With that as a distraction, this is a good time for a covert mission into the enemy base. If the enemy returns to base to defend the back door, your remaining allies can either stop their return or safely destroy the Kraken for 1500 team gold.
Another thing is that when the Kraken has been unleashed, there will be no more waves of minions coming from the bases.
Lastly, if the Kraken is available, you can attempt a backdoor to split objectives and force the enemy to either defend the base or the Kraken. Either way, your team has a much higher rate of success.
Now let's review the routes that I like to take when I'm backdooring. The Crystal Miner plays a significant role in this as he provides the enemy with free vision and he will aggro on sight. When the crystal miner spawns at 4 minutes, it takes him 17 seconds to go from base to camp. When the miner is killed, it will take 1 minute and 4 seconds for him to make it back to his camp. If you run along the bottom of the map, this is the field of vision that the crystal miner will have on you. The top route I have here is slightly longer, but if the enemy has poor vision, then it is the safest route. The bottom route will be the fastest, but you risk getting caught by the crystal miner. If you take this route, make sure the enemy is too busy to look at the minimap. If it is your team that is at risk of being backdoored, you will want to place these scout traps on the field. These mines will give you enough time to come back and protect your base. I often see people place mines inside the base, but there will not be enough time to teleport back and kill the enemy that is backdooring. Now, before I move on to the strategies, please know that if you are doing this, it is because you will probably lose in conventional methods. The backdoor strategy is a Hail Mary, and it requires excellent timing, team communication, and if you are in YOLO queue, you will need excellent ping communication. Depending on your team composition, you can either do a 1-2 push or a 2-1 push. Let's start with the 1-2 push. This is when the backdooring capable hero goes solo into the base, while the remaining 2 heroes push the lane and try to draw out the enemy for a fight. While forcing a 2v3, the ally team must focus on keeping vision on the enemy and prevent them from going back to base. Make a mental note that teleporting takes 4 seconds. The backdooring must be done as fast as possible. In this clip, after just killing the spam mule, I run down to the bottom of the map and try to sneak into the enemy's base. As I walk through the brush, you can see that my name becomes fully translucent. This means there has been no scout traps placed and the enemy has not seen me. I take the top path because I have enough time and I don't want to risk being seen by the miner. Fast forward a few seconds. I stay here and hide behind the minion miner and wait for my team to engage the enemy. I can see Sky's abilities through the fog, so I at least know where she is. Regardless of whether I saw it or not, I was still going to wait until my team gets full vision on the enemy. I keep a close eye on the minimap and wait for the enemy's faces to appear. With my allies fully understanding what I was trying to do, they engage the enemy, and I jump the wall and I run over to take the naked vein. I use everything in my arsenal to do as much damage as possible while stutter stepping around the vein. Remember that teleporting back to base takes 4 seconds, but it only takes me 12 seconds to solo the vein. There are some heroes that can do this even faster. Know your limits and practice well. I want to thank my teammates who never gave up and also distracted the enemy as much as they could. The 2-1 push has a similar strategy of getting vision over the enemy as well. The one that stays behind must stay alive and bait the enemy into vision. They should only be responsible for 2 enemies. Using 2 heroes to invade the base will reduce the time it takes to win the game. But since your ally is only responsible for 2 heroes, 1 enemy might return. If this happens, ignore them and continue taking the base. Trying to kill the enemy hero instead will give the enemy in lane time to return. Focus on the objectives and focus on the win. The next bit of footage I'm using is from the Vainglory World Championship stage. This features North America's Gangstar Sirius versus Korea's Team Hack. At this point of the game, Team Hack has no more turrets and a naked vein. Gangstars has full control of the jungle with vision, and they have just taken the Kraken. Take a look at the vision that Team Hack has placed down. It gives them enough time to act and defend against a backdoor, especially with Lyra and her arcane passage sending an entire team through. But Gangstars has the Kraken on their side and it is slowly marching to base. In my humblest of opinions, the moment that Gangstars has taken Kraken, Team Hack should have forced a fight right away. Once the Kraken is taken, the further it marches down to the base, the threshold of impossibility increases. If Team Hack had forced a fight, they may have won and they may have finished off the Kraken. But here you see Gangstars use the Kraken to aid in their backdooring. By definition, there is more than just jumping over the wall to backdoor, and that is by using stealth. The heroes that can stealth are Kestrel, Taka, and Flicker. Flicker, however, can grant everyone on the team stealth. Here's a tip about the lane minions. Let's imagine one stationary spot in the lane. From the end of one minion wave to the beginning of the next, there will be a 20-second gap. You can go through the jungle and make it into the enemy base, but there are much more risks with enemies and scout traps. I prefer sneaking on the top of the lane. If you set your team up for a stealth backdoor mission, I recommend that you survey the upper lane bushes for enemy scout traps. Just before heading into the base, I recommend that you use your stealth and your boots to get to that turret or the vein as fast as possible. To defend against this strategy, I recommend that you place scout traps in these areas. The next clip comes from Game 2 of Gangstars vs Team Hack. The two teams are almost even in gold, but Team Hack starts to lose their lead. But with excellent lane control, Team Hack forces the lane to push into the enemy base. Team Hack forces a fight that they probably know they will lose. But they engage in the fight long enough for the lane minions to push far enough into base for the Flicker to sneak in and take that one turret. Doing this creates the option for Team Hack to have a stealth backdoor. Even though Flicker dies, it was definitely worth the effort. Based on the team compositions that we have, Team Hack can no longer go head-to-head against Gangstar Sirius. Now let's fast forward 3 minutes ahead. My prediction was right. Team Hack could not stand up to Gangstar Sirius based on the team compositions. The stealth backdoor was their only option. Watch as the invisible Flicker lead the way. Because his name was entirely translucent, he knew there was no scout trap to find him. Flicker then uses Mooncloak and Team Hack marches into the enemy base. With only one turret left, Gangstar should have recognized that this option was available. They should have placed more mines into the lane to protect against the stealth backdoor. In the final seconds of the game, Team Hack focuses on nothing else but the objectives. They take a hard-fought win. I want to take this time to thank all of my subscribers, likers, and viewers, especially those of you who have been there since day one. I know who you are. My last video on Vision has reached 10,000 views and has got me a ton of subs and likes, and I appreciate all of the support and the feedback. With the new 2.0 patch, the game has changed quite a bit, and I am currently theory crafting as much as possible to find new strategies on how to win. On my way to hopefully getting to Vainglory, I will share with you everything I can to bring you up there with me. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm planning some giveaways for my next video, and follow me on Twitter for updates, or if you want to come back and tell me about the stories of your backdoors, your compositions, and anything else. Once again, thank you, good luck, and I'll see you all on the Halcyon Fold.